So kicking off our time here in Kings Canyon, we are going to go and explore the Kings Canyon Rim. We're doing the scenic rim walk, and I'm very excited because we're here super early. We're here for sunrise. Hopefully we get some amazing colours.
We're starting the walk now for the Kings Canyon Rim Walk, and the first part is nicknamed Heart Attack Hill because it's quite steep and quite a few steps, but I think once you're over this part, then it's pretty much you're just at the top and it's not flat, but you know, it's not going to be like this, so. Praise the Lord.
This is one of those trails where you really have to stick close to the path. They have a big emphasis on safety here. And yeah, if you have an injury on the path, then it's best to probably wait for a guide to come along. There's a few guides that travel along here every day. They'll be able to assist you getting a helicopter if you need one, or making your way back down safely. But yeah, the cliff edges here are sheer cliff edges, and you've got to stay on the path at all times.
We met somebody from Utah yesterday who works at the resort, and he said this landscape is very similar to Utah. This whole landscape here in the res center, especially when it's like quite rocky here and like built up, very similar to the landscape found in Utah, and that's cool because I like it here and I want to go Utah.
The landscape in here is so cool. We're kind of going through with this little kind of tiny little valley on top of the canyon, and these little mounds that make up these little hills next to us, they look like little beehives upside down or something, a little bit like the Bungle Bungles in WA. But yeah, the landscape is so cool. Oh, look at this, we get to go through a little crevasse. Charlotte reckons this might have been a little lake, this part here. It looks kind of like it would be.
I completely made that up, but I got that impression.
Yeah, it could well be. Like this, walls could have been built up more around it and eventually just eroded away.
And the floor, just the way it looks.
Looks like it held water.
Yeah, imagine there was a pool here. That would have been popular.
Maybe there are still some pools up here.
So they think there was lakes here, shallow lakes, and it made sense. We could see that when we're walking around, like the ground here looks like you can see all the ripples in the rocks, and it really does look like there was water here. What are the palms?
Gum trees.
No, there's palms down there.
Oh, there's palms, yeah.
Oh, they look like maybe the palms without the actual base.
Cycads.
Cycads. And gum trees and a little oasis. I wonder if people swim here. There's a proper little watering hole.
So there is water here, but you are definitely not allowed to swim in it, only because it's one of the only water sources in the area, and the local people do not want it polluted, which is fair enough. It looks like an amazing place though. Right, we are going to make our way down to the Garden of Eden. It's 600 metres, about a 20-minute return, and it's supposed to be super beautiful. You can sit on the edge of the little water hole and take some nice pics, so we'll go and check it out. Even though we don't have the best conditions today, like it's a little bit cloudy, it's a little bit windy, but this has got to be up there with one of my favourite walks that I've done in Australia. It's so unique, it's so interesting. The landscape, we kind of dip into the canyon and we come up to the top, and each time it feels like we're discovering a new part of it. It's really cool, I'm really enjoying it. Well, we've made it to one of the best views now in Kings Canyon. We're actually on a cliff edge here, and we can see the other side of the cliff, the other side that we were walking on a little while ago, and we can see some other tourists in the distance on the other side as well. But here you get a really good perspective of the shape of the landscape here. All these little, they look like foothills, but they're on top of this canyon, which is incredible. And you've just got all the layers that you can see through the rocks and around us here as well. So definitely recommend this walk if you're in the area, if you're exploring Central Australia, make sure you put this on your bucket list.
We are nearing the end of the hike now, making our way back to the car park. We can see in the distance, but this has been a really spectacular hike. I think me and Corey both agree this has quickly become one of our favourite hikes in Australia. Tips: wear good shoes, bring lots of water, camera, and I would recommend hiking early. Because if you're here certain times of the year, obviously it gets very hot here in the day. It's now 8:30 and we're nearly finished and it's getting quite warm. But yeah, absolutely beautiful, definitely a bucket list hike in Oz. During our time in Kings Canyon, we are staying at Kings Canyon Discovery Resort Park, and this little lodge we're staying in is absolutely beautiful, but there is one highlight of this room, and follow me because I think it's beautiful. This bathtub, like look at that view. You have the view of Outback, Central Australia, the red rocks and the green bush, blue sky. It looks amazing. I think I'm gonna have to get in here. We are on our way for a special evening experience here at Discovery Kings Canyon Resort, and that is the light towers. We have cocktails and canapes, and I heard this is quite a special experience, so I'm excited. Let's make our way.
So we have just arrived at the light tours experience. We've just sort of had a little glimpse of sunset. Actually, the clouds over there look incredible right now. And the rocks kind of lit up briefly for a moment. But if you're here on a clear night, this would just be amazing. And we've been served our first canapé. We've got a glass of wine each, and we're just waiting for the sun to fully go down so we can experience the light towers.
Having a last canapé, and now we're gonna go take a walk down to the light towers. We're having a walk now around the light towers, and I have to say this experience is absolutely beautiful. It's by the same person who created the field of light in Uluru, so as you can expect, it is really beautifully done. The music here is actually quite emotional, and from afar you're kind of not really sure what the towers are. I thought they may be like cement blocks, but as you come closer they're actually clear glass bottles with LED lights in, and the whole colour and the sound is all inspired by synesthesia, so it's like the blending of senses, and that's done really well. This is quickly becoming one of my favourite experiences I've done so far in the Red Centre. It is really truly beautiful.